Brahmanda Purana, Part 4, Lalita Mahatmya, Chapter 5. Agastya's pilgrimage to sacred places, manifestation of Vishnu. Obeisance to Sri Ganesha. The episode of goddess Sri Lalita is now being commenced. There is a footnote. As stated in introduction, Sri Lalitopakhyana is an appendix, an apocryphal part of the Brahmanda Purana. It starts with a fresh set of Mangalacharana verses, a prayer of Sri Lalita, the main divinity of this Upakhyana, and has a different set of interlocutors, viz. Sage Agastya and Hayagriva, a partial incarnation of God Vishnu as another sage. Obeisance unto you, O Soul Mother of the universe. The Mother who has 4 arms is adorned with the digit of the moon on her forehead, whose breasts are plump and full, who has been rendered red by the red saffron, and who holds a white lotus, a sugar cane, a noose, a gourd, flowers, and arrows in the hands. Let the eternal reality, a beautiful female deity of lovely form, be gracious for our welfare forever. The deity from whom learned men acquire the third Purushartha, viz. Kama, that is all their desires, and whose splendor is supreme. The divine sage named Agastya, who had mastered the Vedas and Vedangas, who was conversant with the essence of the established doctrines of all schools of philosophy, darshanas, and whose soul experienced the joy of bliss of Brahman, moved round pilgrim spots and shrines of wonderful miracles, mountains, forests, important sacred rivers, and all countries. In those different places, he saw all creatures enveloped in the darkness of ignorance and devoted to the satisfaction of the urge of hunger and sexual desire. Hence, he thought worriedly about them, even as he was pondering over. Thus, in the course of his travel round the earth, he happened to reach the excellent and highly meritorious city of Kanchi. There is a footnote that says Kanjivaram, 43 miles southwest of Madras. The eastern portion of the town is Vishnu Kanchi, and the western is Shiva Kanchi. The chief deity of Shiva Kanchi is Shiva, called Ekamranatha, and his consort is Kamakshi. The story seems to have a Dravidian background, as Kanchi and the south appear now and then. There, the wise sage worshipped Shiva, installed in the shrine of Ekamra, the lord of Varanashaila, as well as goddess Kamakshi, the destroyer of sins and defects of the Kali age. Janardana, God Vishnu, was delighted by the long term penance of the intelligent sage who constantly engaged himself in deep thoughts for the welfare of the world and who melted with pity for the world. Assuming the Hayagriva horse-headed form, the Lord manifested himself in front of the sage. The person of the Lord was constituted of pure sit or consciousness, with his arms brightly shining with a conch, a discus, a rosary of beads, and a book. It filled the entire universe with its lustre of immeasurable brilliance. On seeing him, the sage was filled with delight. He frequently bowed down with great humility and eulogized the Lord of the universe. Then the Lord of the universe said, I am pleased with your penance. O excellent Brahmana, welfare unto you, choose your boon. Asked thus by the Lord, the excellent sage said, O Lord, if you are delighted with me, it behoves you to tell me how and by what means can the ignorant and vulgar creatures get released. On being asked by the Brahmana Das, Janardana, the Lord of Devas, said, this same question was put to me formerly by Shiva. The same question was asked thereafter by God Brahma. Then it was put by Durvasa, as subsequently by you. Let my advice and directive be popularized among the people of all worlds by the noble souled persons like you, the teachers of all living beings. This is my boon. I am the prime cause of living beings, the original creator of the Lord. I am the cause of creation, sustenance, and dissolution of everything. I am Trimurti, the Trinity. I transcend the three gunas. I am devoid of gunas as well as am the substratum of gunas. I sport as I wish. I am the soul of all living beings. I am of the nature of Pradhana and Purusha. Even as I, O Brahmana, continued the assumption of the cosmic form, it was split into forms, namely Pradhana and Purusha. My form as Pradhana is of the nature of all gunas and the worlds. The other form, which is beyond all gunas, is the great one. It is greater than the greatest. On knowing these two aspects of those two forms, thus, one is liberated from samsara. At the end, when the effects of evil actions perish on account of austerities continued for a long time, as well as through yamas and niyamas, restraints and holy observances, and tyagas, renunciation of things, salvation is immediately attained. There are two footnotes which says the moral observances with non-violence, truth, non-stealing, celibacy, possessionlessness. Some smritis enumerate 10 yamas. Yamas are obligatory. The next one is the restraints. Yoga Sutra number 232 enumerates the following: uh, Saucha, cleanliness; Santosha, contentment; Tapas, austerities; Swadhyaya, study of the Vedas; and Ishvara Pranidhana, that means complete submission to God, as niyamas. There is variation both in the number and restraints under niyamas. That form which is endowed with gunas is attained by means of identity with these gunas. The other one, which is the cosmic form, is acquired as a result of good actions and their enjoyment. What is obtained by good actions is obtained by renunciation and generosity too. Of those two, O ascetic Tyaga, renunciation, and generosity is very difficult to be practiced by all. The means that is easy of access and free from loss and decay is that based on Sat and Asat, good and evil karmans. The jnana or knowledge that is acquired by means of the guna present in one's own self, whether it is Sat or Asat, and by means of unity of souls bestows all siddhis. Merely by meditating on that form, the sins and evils of those men who commit heinous crimes and those who are outside the pale of three varnas turn into meritorious deeds. There is no doubt indeed that those who worship the supreme Shakti or power in accordance with the injunctions or otherwise are liberated souls. They do not suffer due to worldly exercise existence. They do not suffer due to worldly existence. By worshipping and propitiating her, the Parashakti, and so by means of the power of meditation and yogic practice, Lord Shiva became the leader of all siddhas and also became the Lord, half of whose body has the female Shakti form. Other devas too, with God Brahma, the lotus born Lord, as their leader, have become siddhas due to the power of meditation on her. Hence, in regard to the entire world, nowhere can there be a simultaneous attainment of worldly enjoyment and salvation without the propitiation of Goddess Tripura. You shall attain liberation by keeping your mind and vital air fixed in her, by performing worship unto her, by directing all desires unto her, and by performing all holy rites with the soul identified with her. This esoteric doctrine has been recounted, O excellent sage, by me because I have been pleased with your penance. Further, it is recounted with a desire for the welfare of all. May devas, sages, siddhas, human beings, and others attain siddhi or spiritual achievement greater than the greatest by acquiring this doctrine through your lotus like mouth. On hearing these words of Hayagriva, the Lord willed, wielding Saranga bow, sage Agastya bowed down to him and spoke these words to Vishnu, slayer of Madhu. O Lord, it behoves you to recount to me of what sort is that form that has been mentioned by you before. What is its power and of what type are its sports? Hayagriva said, this divine sage Hayagriva is another partial incarnation of mine. Whatever you wish to hear, he deserves to relate to you. After saying this and commanding sage Hayagriva, likewise Hari, the Lord of the universe, vanished in front of the pot born sage Agastya. Thereafter, ascetic Agastya, who was struck with wonder and whose hair were standing on their end due to surprise and emotion, went back to his ashrama hermitage along with sage Hayagriva.